everyone, and welcome to Chant A Psalm A Day. We are here again. Oh my gosh. What does my T read? My T says, may you create loving harmony as your life's purpose. Like that one. I like it. I like it. Blessed greetings. What are we? 12 minutes after the hour. Oh my gosh. 12 minutes after the hour. Huh. So, wherever you are, it is 12 minutes after that hour that you are at. Happy Monday. Happy Martin Luther King Jr. Day. That we've been given a day off for our troubles. But, anywho, greetings and thanks for joining Chant A Psalm A Day. We are here. I am maskless. I don't have my mask today. Um, So it's check my psalm out yesterday. Okay, I have like about 200 people looked at that with my mask. So the whole theme was about we wear the mask, and how what are we putting on? Are we putting on the armor and the mask of goodness? Hi, Jermaine. Thanks for joining Chant A Psalm A Day. It's so good to have you here. We are here today again, and it is Monday. Some of you are on holiday because you are off from the plantation. Mm. We are on a plantation system. We believe it or not. It still is that, right? So, this is my cup. Be kind to all. Be kind to all. And then you see love. Love, I think, if you look at it, is evolve. Hi, Mark. How are you, sweetie? Greetings. I love that. Thanks for the greetings. Thanks and welcome to Chant A Psalm A Day. I was just talking about yesterday's theme about the mask and how we wear the mask. And we have to think about what masks we're putting on and, what's happening to ourselves. So, guess what? Guess what today's theme is? Oh my goodness. Not too kind. What is the theme today? It usually comes to me. It's, today there's a lot going on in the world today. People, you all got your TikTok back. I don't have TikTok, so I don't know about that stuff. But you all got your TikTok back. I heard. Are you guys happy now that you have that back? I talked about that yesterday too, in terms of I didn't really go into detail, but I talk about it on my channel about how, sometimes we get attached to things. We get attached to things, and when they go away, we are in a twist. Like, Mark, you don't have TikTok? Okay. I don't have TikTok either. Hi Rahul. How are you, Rahul? Thanks for your comment and sharing your how you identify. You identify as that. Okay, Goku. Hi, Goku. Thanks for joining Chant A Psalm. Thanks for liking this video, by the way, and thank you for subscribing to this channel. Thank you for liking the video. Thank you for tuning in to Chant A Psalm A Day. Every day we are here live. And the theme, as I was speaking of, the theme today is, looking at Martin Luther King. Yeah, Martin Luther King, Reverend Doctor. So he's Reverend Doctor. Something is itching. Reverend Doctor. Thank you, Goku. I have that's so kind of you. You don't know me at all, but you just share that wonderful comment. And I receive it. Thank you so much. Martin Luther King
Every time we kill one, we spend about $500,000, while we spend only $53 a year for every person characterized as poverty-stricken in the so-called poverty program, which is not even a good skirmish against poverty. But not only that, it has put us in a position of appearing to the world as an arrogant nation. Here we are 10,000 miles away from home, fighting for the so-called freedom of the Vietnamese people when we've not even put our own house in order. We force young black men and young white men to fight and kill in brutal solidarity. Yet when they come back home, they can't hardly live on the same block together. The judgment of God is upon us today.
Wow.
And we could go right down the line and see that something must be done, and something must be done quickly.
This is the last Sunday of Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. This is the last Sunday sermon of Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. He delivered his final Sunday sermon on March 31st, 1968. And March 31st, okay, is actually the transfer day of when the Virgin Islands was transferred to another host country, the US, from Denmark. So March 31st is a significant day there, as well as this particular sermon, 1968, from the Canterbury pulpit at the Cathedral Church of St. Peter and St. Paul in the city and diocese of Washington, commonly known as Washington National Cathedral. 3101 Wisconsin Avenue, Northwest Washington, District of Columbia, United States of America. In his sermon, he refers to the following passages from the Word of God: Psalm 133, the Gospel of St. Matthew 25, chapter, verse 31 to 46. He also mentioned the Gospel of St. Luke, chapter 16, verses 19 to 31. And he mentioned the book of Revelation, chapter 21, verse 5. So the theme today is we have to care. The theme today is do not be silent. Silence no more. We have to speak out for goodness and mercy and love and kindness. Carl, that's not nice, Carl, to say to someone what you're commenting there. That's not nice. I tell my students, I say, if you want someone to stop talking, you need to use the good words. Be quiet. Okay? Or, Carl, you can just excuse yourself out of this Chant A Psalm A day. Okay? And I wish you all the best and kindness and love and mercy and all the goodness. Okay? All the goodness that can be sent to you, I send that to you. Okay? I do not retaliate against challenges of lapse in judgment you may have at the moment. Okay. Thanks for liking this video, though, by the way, those of you who are liking this video. So this final Sunday sermon of the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. is quite thematic, okay, in terms of what is happening today in the USA. At the time of this sermon in 1968, I think this is like 56 years ago. But the Vietnam War was happening, right? Yes. We're not going to go into all that. But in terms of what event was taking place during that time, because times change. Times do not stay the same, my friends. They change. Things do not stay the same. People may stay the same and be stagnant, but are you growing? You need to grow. thinking to yourself, I'm done growing. I don't have anything to do. I'm just going to go to work and that's it. No, you have a lot to learn more of. You have a lot to grow more into. And you have a purpose. A purpose. You out there have a purpose. Yeah. Oh, Mark David, thank you so much for adding that comment to Carl. Because Carl, we want to send all the love to Carl because Carl does not seem to be in a good place with himself, herself, however they identify. So we're going to send a good word out to Carl. And thank you, Mark David, for beginning that good word because that's true. If you got nothing nice to say, shh. Right? That's true. So if you have nothing nice to say, you just need to what? Zip it. We love Carl. Exactly. We don't look when people come on trolling on this Chant A Psalm, we do not beat them up. We don't put them down. We don't call them names. We don't talk about things that are inappropriate. We don't do that to folks. This is a one love. Look at my pillow back there. Above all things, love. That's what Mark David. Thank you so much for adding that. And thank you for liking this video. And thank you for subscribing. As a matter of fact, I have a GoFundMe. Please support that. Thank you so much for all of your kindness because I've just bottle it up and just shower it all over me and it just feels so good. So Martin Luther King.
We have alienated ourselves from other nations, so we end up morally and politically isolated in the world. There's not a single major ally to the United States of America that would dare send a troop to Vietnam, and so the only friends that we have now are a few client nations like Taiwan, Thailand, South Korea, and a few others. This is where we are. Mankind must put an end to war.
And I will leave it on that note. Mankind must put an end to war. Okay? Martin Luther King talked about economics, right? Talked about that. And spending money economically instead of giving reparations, that money could be diverted to improving and to empowering the descendants of the former enslaved Africans who are scattered about today, lost in a world where they feel that they have to sacrifice themselves and their children and the values and the morals to be part of a system that is oppressive. So, and the little bits of symbolism, a black president, that's symbolism. All these symbolism of, okay, we're going to give you something. It's symbolism. It's not at the core of what is supposed to be given economically. Okay. So Martin Luther King was, today, as people are reflecting on his life and his legacy, we have to really think about the foundation of that life and legacy and what that means. What would it mean today? Right? What would it mean today? What would Martin Luther King today talk about this TikTok situation? What would he say about that? What would he talk about that? You know what I think he would say? Like, where is the money going to the inner city poor neighborhoods? All this money that these big companies are making, or what's happening? You just want to keep people in a certain bracket. Okay, I'm moving to a different tax bracket. But we have to really kind of, look at that. Now, Mark, I have to address your comment I have to address your comment, Mark, because being scared of spiders is okay. However, what's not okay is allowing that fear to be what controls you. So when you see one, and I'm telling you from experience because I don't like mice, and I saw them when I don't want to talk about it. And I said maybe I have to be in a room full of them just to just not be afraid. So when we talk about our fears and what we're scared of, oftentimes it's what represents us in some way. You know what I mean? When I saw those little mice, I was like, oh, what about it is a reflection of me? I don't have a tail. I'm not a tiny little thing. Oh my goodness. And there were little babies, mice that were just, oh my gosh, I don't want to talk about it. But see, that's what now everybody knows. So they're going to use that to get you. When you tell people what you're afraid of, they use that against you, Mark. So, um, yeah. So try to find some balance with being afraid because being afraid is something human, you know. That's why in the scriptures it talks about fearing God, you know, and that's what you're supposed to be afraid of. So when you are afraid of other things, you're making them to be God. They become this idol. They become this, thing that you're putting higher than the righteousness and goodness and love and mercy, kindness and grace and compassion that is what God is. So I had to go into that space. So dealing with something that I'm afraid of, that's where I have to go to gain that courage. And over the days of, cleaning my office and my room, I became stronger and stronger to deal with them, to deal with what I'm afraid of. And on the island you have lizards that crawl into your room and they eat the mosquitoes. I used to be afraid of lizards, and now I'm not. I look at them as they have a function. But when they are a mice, like with the tail and fur, and they're tiny like that, it just creeps me out. Even possums, I just get my toes start. I'm like, Arr! So anyway, now the whole everybody knows. So I'm back. I am gaining and growing into the strength of not being afraid of that stuff, and conquering my fears. That's it. And if we don't, we won't be able to grow, because part of growth is conquering your fears of overcoming. That we have a fear of overcoming. So yeah, spiders, poison, serpent, yeah. So it's just an entirety of things that people can be scared of. But we don't want those things to overpower us to the point where we make these things our gods and we become worshiping them in some kind of crazy way. Like people are afraid. Like, this is an example really quick before I go into my daughter. I wrap my hair, and my daughter was going to the dentist to get braces, for the first time and everything. Yeah. As a single mom, I had to pay for all that. I'm like, that's another video. But anyway, and going to school and working and doing all that, I did it, right? Anyway, my daughter said to me, take your wrap off when we go to the dentist, because people are going to look at you weird, and you're going to, I just don't want the attention. And I was like, what? I looked at her and I said, let me tell you something. I do not serve these people out here, and I do not dress to impress anyone. I do not compromise my morals and values. So my rap stayed on my head. Went into the dentist with my daughter, and guess what? I was looked at. They were like, "This is a queen. Oh my goodness gracious! Who walked into the dentist's office?" And who are you? Where are you from? Oh my gosh! And all these questions. And my daughter's standing there like, but I am not gonna. I didn't. If I felt like taking it off, I'm moved by that righteousness. That goodness moves me to dress. That goodness moves me to speak and to engage with, humanity in a good, nice, righteous way. Um, so, so when we look at the importance of who you are afraid of, who you are serving, and how you make that important, it becomes tangled. It becomes tangled because you are trying to serve this person, trying to please your daughter, trying to please that one, trying to please this person, trying to look okay for that person. You're gonna go cray cray. You can't. So what do? You dive deep. Okay? Dive deep. Deep, deep, deep inside of you. Dive deep in there. I'm going to come close to the camera. Let me look at the camera. Dive deep inside there and look at yourself. Ask yourself, am I happy with just me? Am I happy? And when you speak about, yes, you're happy, guess what? That's the seed. That's the seed, and all you got to do is water it. You water that seed, okay? Water it. Hi, Booger. How you doing, sweetie? Smitty. What are you talking about, Smitty? Don't talk about people who have no idea. You don't know what's in their head and what ideas they have. And when you assume that they have no idea about something, then you're just limiting yourself. Don't limit the knowledge. Don't limit yourself by putting into someone else what you think that they know. Ask them. Stop and say, do you have any idea about men? What men do? Ask the question before you just write it off like they have no idea, right? So anyway, I don't know, Smitty, we're gonna send a good word out for you, okay? A kind, nice word for Smitty. And for Booga, thank you so much for your kindness, okay? Yes, you're hoping to see me again. Did you come? Did you come looking? You got to listen to the word. Every day, okay? I try. All right? I don't want to. Let me get my pillow. This is my pillow. Ah, love. Yes. So then, we haven't even started the psalm yet, y'all. This is a preface to the psalm. So the theme today is about the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. That's the theme, and what is that life and legacy would be today. Why in the Bible it says a woman cannot lead? Well, when it comes to gender and the social constructs that were created, they were created and they were placed in these kinds of places: religion, education, healthcare, etc. Okay, and it was placed in terms of research. So researching how women may function differently than men, for example, or how races may be different in their culture, for example. So when we look at the Bible, okay, it's going to have that divisive differentiation of gender in there, okay? Just as the fact that Mary is a virgin and had a child, okay? Just like the women who were at the when Jesus rose on the third day, right? And he appeared to these women, and the women, one of them, I think was his mother, somebody he was with, but and another woman. But anyway, Mary, Martha, somebody help me out here. I'm not a Bible scholar, okay? I'm not a Bible scholar. But he appeared to them and said, let my brethren know I'm heading over to Galilee and da da da. And the women, when they told the brethren, they were like, "What? Women, you don't know what you're talking about, girl. Bye." That's how they were. They looked down at the women. And where this has come from, it's come from a womb envy. The envy of the woman to be able to transform her body to create another person, another human being. Okay? So, a lot of that language in the Bible when it comes to women cannot teach and women cannot lead and women cannot this and women should dress, shouldn't wear pants and shouldn't this and shouldn't adorn themselves and shouldn't da 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 da. It's all a bunch of Rick. It's all a bunch of what? Yeah, okay. And then there's debates about that. Like the creation began with two women. And it began with two women because of the power of that womb. The womb and the ability for a woman to be that mother and that, caretaker of the universe and of the earth. So it was women who was in the beginning. Men, came after. Some theories are that way. So we have theories, we have the Bible, and as Rick said, it's all boop, bleep, and he don't believe in it, and but he does believe there's a creator. So we haven't even gotten to the psalm yet, y'all, and my dog is underneath here. He got to go outside. Bubba. So it's a ongoing debate, just like some people speak about the Bible being used to enslave Africans. It was used as a tool for that, as a manual for how to keep your slave in order. Okay, sometimes that was the case. So Mark David, yeah, joy is what are you doing, Bobby? I know you're itchy. You're gonna get some relief soon. So joy to you and me. You guys. Okay, thank you for liking the video, by the way. So thank you for your comments and for your feedback and for liking the video. We're gonna get into the psalm today, but the words today is about a tranquility of mind, right? Having, some people call it a peace of mind. Come here, Bubby, come. What did you do? What did you do? Come, come, come. Come here. You stay right here. He's got a skin, Westies. This is a West Highland Terrier. Do not get one. They have skin issues, bad. And he's been chewing on his, he's got to go to the vet on Tuesday. So this is my fur baby. He doesn't want to look in the camera. Look in the camera. Look in the camera. Say hi to the people out there in YouTube land. They have attitudes. They have attitudes, and I hope he's gonna be okay too. See, he's got, yeah. Barb, nobody is spreading lies. These are theories people have. I'm not spreading anything. The Bible was spread before I even got here, Barb. So that's your belief, and that's fine. You can have those beliefs, but do not be egocentric about it where you think your belief is the ultimate right way. And then you persecute people. And that's what the theme of the day is today. You know, how people persecute other people because they don't believe what they believe. So if you want to believe that God created Adam first, then that's how you believe. If you want to believe that, that's your belief. And you should have a right to that. Okay? And other people should have a right to theirs. If they want to believe that the creation began with a big bang, they can believe that. If they want to believe that creation began with two women and the female feminine energy is powerful, then they can believe that, right? Greetings, Fire. I'm doing my son. Hi, my daughter's calling in live. You are live. She doesn't like to be live, everybody. So she's live. But yeah, everybody can believe what they want to believe. If you believe that there is no God, then that's your belief. So you can't persecute people for what they believe. And this channel is not about that. We accept everyone. I had an atheist on here and we get along just fine because we're about one love. It's not about all this other stuff of who created who did that, who the name of God is higher. This name is above all name, and you're going to go to hell if you don't believe that. Who is sending you who to hell? Like, come on. Booby, he give me kisses. He gives the best kisses. How are you, Fire? Fire doesn't want to speak because she knows she on live. So the theme of today is about that. It's about bringing a tranquility to people. Okay? Stop fussing and fighting and being divisive over unjust things in life. You know, just stop. So when I look at the word today, tranquility begins in your heart. Remember I said that? It starts with you. You is where it starts. So I reflect upon the words of Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. I just played some of his words. And he spoke of tranquility. And tranquility, he spoke of it as it's not merely, and this is a quote, it's not merely a distant goal that we seek. However, it's a means through where we arrive at that goal. So tranquility is a means. You have to work to have a tranquility of mind. Right? And tranquility in the world begins with you. It begins with each of all of I and I. So that tranquility is up to you, is up to I, is up to I and I to live a tranquil life and demonstrate what I am feeling in my heart. Okay? I share a tranquil or tranquility of feelings through extending compassion. So, this is telling you how it's done now through compassion, kindness, and love to others. So, don't come on talking about God created Adam first and then Eve, and I'm spreading love. Don't do that. That's not nice. It's not kind, and it's not compassion, and it's not what God is about. So when you talk about believing in God, please define how that operational definition looks like. Here comes Coconut. Coconut, welcome to Chant A Psalm A Day. How are you, my friend? There's no friendship lost, okay? And in the theme of today, you're right on time because tranquility begins with you. And coming on to someone's channel and talking about them and you don't know them reminds me of a vicious voicemail that I received from someone who didn't know me but left me a vicious voicemail. So let's try our best to be our best by erring on the side of goodness, erring on the side of mercy and compassion, erring on the side of, guess what? Love. Love yourself. That is an important thing. So, Coconut, we're going to send a love yourself communication to you, okay? We're going to send a loving communication to you that you love yourself, okay? Rico, the same way, that you love yourself. Because the word today echoes that. So I am extending compassion, kindness, and love to you, all of you out there, even those who don't like the channel, even those who call me names that's not nice. I'm sending compassion, kindness, and love because I imagine how through my example, others are inspired to do likewise until a fullness of righteousness covers the earth as the water covers the sea, and that tranquility prevails all over the world. So I remain realistic about the state of the world. Tranquility is not an escape from troubling circumstances, right? Tranquility is the path through the troubling circumstances. So when you have a tranquility of mind, you're less likely to act the way Coconut is acting with no idea, having no idea. And I ask that you have some ideas. You tap into that creative mind and find ideas, right? That can forward you out of the oppressive, selfish, manipulative doctrines that you have been in that are coming out when you comment. So I send you kindness, Coconut, that you can rise from the ashes as a phoenix. Rise from the ashes as a phoenix. Now, I remain realistic about the state of the world. It's messed up. It's messed up. Tranquility, as I said, is not an escape from troubling circumstances. It's a path through them, right? And as more and more people pursue tranquility, okay, and live it, the world will be forever changed. So it starts with you. Every single one of you out there who come on this live every day, some trolling and being mean and stalking the channel to see me or to see what I look like or to see where I'm located at now or to see my house I just bought or to find where or what I'm doing. Some people do that. They're stalkers, okay? It's called. And when more and more people pursue tranquility instead of pursuing me or pursuing to hurt people or to pursue to do something nefarious, and they pursue tranquility and they live it, the world is going to be changed for all time to come. And this words today, tranquility, is brought to us today, yes, by John 16. Tell them respect. John 16, verse 33. I have said this to you so that in me you may have a tranquility of mind. In the world, you face persecution. You're going to face that in the world. As you see that I'm facing it now, people on the channel talk, saying these things, mean, persecuting, oppressive, right? You're going to face that. But take courage. Okay? What do? I take courage. I don't let these folks move me in any kind of way. I take courage. I have conquered the world because the one I serve has done it. I'm not a Bible expert, Rico. I just said that. I am not a Bible scholar. Okay? So this was the word today, tranquility. Tranquility. You call it peace. I call it tranquility. Okay? That was the word today. And it's interesting because the verse today, let me see, the verse today is coming from James chapter 1, verse 2 to 3. And in translation, James speaks, think about pure joy, my brothers and sisters, whenever you face trials of many kinds, because you know that the testing of your faith produces perseverance. So it speaks of John 16:33, talking about the world and you may face persecution, right? Because I'm a black woman, I'm gonna face persecution. Because I am a Caribbean woman, other black women may not like me because that's what white supremacy does. It divides and it conquers. So my own brother and sister may not know they're my brother and sister because they look at me in this way. And that's what the world does. The world, you face persecution. And in James talks about it too. Whenever you face trials of many kinds, know that that's a test, testing your faith. So what do? You take courage, as John 16:33 said. Take courage, because that testing of your faith is going to produce perseverance. You're going to persevere, keep on going. And that's what you're going to do. And even though this is scripture from the Bible, I am pulling that out from the Bible to liberate you, Rico, and empower you to see beyond the Bible and beyond the pronouns and beyond all of the frills and the trappings that the Bible has locked people in. When people talk about God, they don't define what that looks like and how it operates. It's righteousness and goodness. But people hide behind God, Lord, and Jesus, and they're doing foolery. Just foolery. Stabbing people in their back and turning the knife into their stomach. People do these things in the name of God, Lord, and Jesus. They go to church with you one day and then they stab you in the back the next day. It's in the Psalms. My companion and I will go to the house of the Lord, and then this is what they do to you. The people hurt you the most who are the closest to you. Your enemy can't get you and hurt you because you know who your enemy is. But the person that's closest to you is the one who can hurt you the most. So who are you going to get close to? A person, or are you going to get close to that inside you that's working in you, that goodness that religion has called God and Spirit and Holy Spirit and all this stuff? Right? So looking within you is the key to opening the door that you've been so closed off from opening. So when we look at the word today and we look at the verse today, they go hand in hand. John 16:33, James 1:2-3. You're not a Bible person, you don't want to read that, that's fine. Don't read it. That's your choice. Everyone has free will. What you do with that, it's your outcome. Whatever that outcome is, you are creating it. Okay? So, the psalm today is from book 3 out of the Psalms. These are psalms, they're songs, and this psalm today is the strength of righteousness is a portion for all time to come. That goodness, that real mercy and compassion and love and joy and the fulfillment of, grace and gratitude for the Most High daily, as Elsu always speaks of. This psalm embodies that. And it speaks to James, it speaks to John, and it's about 28 verses? And today, on the 20th of January, Monday, when the USA is about to usher in a new president, yes, January 20th, I want to shout out to my brother Zaid Sewer, who is his birthday today, and his mom for birthing him. It's her birthing day. So that's important. I will look at January 20th in a different way now, right? So, Psalm 73, okay? Yep, Horace. Thank you, Horace, for sharing that. I am not preaching. I am not preaching anything, okay? This is not a sermon. This is not a Sunday service. I'm not on a pulpit. I am chanting a psalm, okay? And I am sharing the word in a liberated way. I am not preaching. So I think it was 2 Timothy talks about that. So look at the book of Timothy and when that was written, when he talked about women, okay? So that's fine, Horace, okay? And Rico says it is kind of preaching. I don't want to be a preacher, okay? I am a professor. I'm a teacher. I'm an educator. I teach. I teach children from infants all the way to university students, okay? So Psalm 73, I translated into words of liberation. So those words of liberation, I do not use pronouns. I take them out, okay? So Psalm 73, I ask that the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart is acceptable in the sight of what is righteous, what is goodness, mercy, and love and kindness. So, verse 1, truly, I like this word truly. Truly, Righteousness is good to I and I. To I and I who are pure in heart. As for I and I feet had almost stumbled. I and I steps had nearly slipped. For I was envious of the arrogant when I saw the prosperity of the wicked. For they have no pangs until death. Their bodies are fat and sleek. They are not in trouble as others are. They are not stricken like the rest of mankind. Therefore, pride is their necklace. Violence covers them as a garment. They love the violent video games. Their eyes swell out through fatness. Their hearts overflow with foolishness, follies, games, playing games. They scoff and speak with malice. Loftily, they threaten oppression. I'm going to oppress you. I'm not going to help you pay nothing if you don't do this for me. I'm not going to do this for you. They threaten to oppress. They set their mouths against the high most all, and their tongue struts through the earth. Therefore, the people turn away to these folks and find no fault in them. No fault in them. And speak, how can righteousness know? Is there knowledge in the Most High? Behold, these folks are wicked, always at ease. They increase in riches. All in vain. You know what vain is, right? Vanity. Have I kept my heart clean and washed my hands in innocence. Hi, Connie. Blessed greetings. Good morning, sweetie. In innocence. So you keep your heart clean and washed your hands in innocence. Your hands you ain't devising wickedness in these hands. You're going to lift people up with these hands. I'm blessed. So much to tell you, Connie. I have to keep a low. I don't want many people knowing where I am located at the moment because I have stalkers. I have people out there. I don't want them to know. They drive up on come up to me. You know what I mean? So we gotta. I'm gonna call you. But for all the day long, I have been stricken and rebuked every rise. When I had said, I will speak this, I would have betrayed the generation of the children. Okay? Thank you, Rico. I'm so glad nobody's looking for me. Thank you. Thank you. That calms me when you speak, when you write, when you post that. Thank you. I don't want anybody looking for me. I've had some run-ins with some people leaving vicious voicemails on my phone, and they don't even know me. So anyway, in verse 16, however, when I thought how to stand firm in all of this, right? Standing firm in this, it seemed a wearisome task, because folks can be mean, right? But it wasn't until I went into the sanctuary of serenity, right? Then I discerned these folks who are trying to persecute. Then I discerned their ending. Truly, here is the word truly. I like that word truly. Truly, you the righteousness, the goodness, set these folks in slippery places and makes them fall to ruin. So you don't worry about folks who leave in these mean things. You leave people stay. They gonna get handled. How these folks are destroyed in a moment, swept away utterly by terrors. You see what's happening in California, eh? As a dream when one wakes up, oh righteousness, when righteousness rouses, guess what? As despised ones as phantoms. When I life was embittered, when I was pricked in my heart, remember I said people stab you in your back and it comes out in your stomach into your heart. It hurts bad. It pricks your heart. I was brutish and ignorant. I was as a beast toward, I was upset, right? Similar to the vicious voicemail person. They were upset. They left these things. Nevertheless, I am always knowledgeable that righteousness is with me. It's a mist. It's just the omnipresent. It's with me. So I'm going to keep that and stay on that side because that righteousness is with me. Righteousness holds my hand. Righteousness holds my hand and guides me with teachings. And afterward, I am receiving glory, the fullness of glory. And then verse 25 is a question like, whom have I in righteousness but righteousness? And there is nothing on earth that I desire besides righteousness. Why would I want anything else? Why would I want a toxic relationship? Why would I want disrespectful people? Why would I want that? I want and I desire righteousness. I don't want wrongness and you sitting up there doing that. And my flesh and my heart may fail because the flesh is weak, right? And my heart may hurt and it may fail. Thank you for liking this video, right? My flesh and my heart may fail, but guess what? Righteousness is a strength of that heart and my portion for all time to come. So my flesh is weak, yeah, and my heart may fail, and it may hurt, but guess what? Righteousness is the strength of my heart and my portion for all time to come. So for behold, those ones who are far from righteousness is going to perish. So when you sitting there playing violent video games and you're moving far away from righteousness playing games, you're going to perish. It's not going to be good for you. Okay, righteousness is going to put an end to everyone who is unfaithful to righteousness. Not to me. You can be unfaithful to me all day long, but once you step into being unfaithful to me, you're unfaithful to righteousness because I am a child of that. I belong to that. I belong to that righteousness. So it's very important, and it's, when people, you may not want to see that coconut. Sorry that you don't see that. But your actions are going to end you up in an outcome, either good or bad, depending on the action. Okay? So for I, what is I going to do? I is going to be near to righteousness. We're going to stay near to that. Okay? All the sex and all the sucking and fucking and people doing out there, guess what? That's over. Those former things have passed. And it's time now to sit down and chant a psalm a day. Yes, and keep that nasty devil away. Because let me tell you something. Let me tell you. As for I and I, it's good to be near righteousness. I and I have made righteousness my safety. I don't sit with liars and cheaters and deceivers and deceptors. Okay, I'm not going to sit with that. I am going to sit and stay near to righteousness. Okay? Okay? And this is what the outcome is going to be for those who don't sit near to righteousness. Okay? I'm going to sit near to righteousness that I may tell of all the works of righteousness. Okay? And talk about that. Talk about the goodness and the mercy of the works, the actions. Okay? Actions. It's important. And this channel, this Chant A Psalm is not made for children because I may throw a bomb out there that's not meant for children to listen. This is not a religious channel. This is not a Bible bumping channel. This is a liberation channel to liberate the Bible, okay? Because it's been used to enslave and oppress. So what I do is I unleash it using the words of liberation, okay? So you don't like it, you can move on ahead. Go on your way, because this is the way of the most kindness that I can find, is seeking what's above, not for what's below. Okay? Okay. 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 Check it out. Chant a psalm a day, every day, y'all. We say a good word for coconut. So we recap. We at an hour. I'm done with the psalm. The psalm, Selah and Selah again. Oh my goodness. I give thanks today for this word, because this word has empowered the reality that what is it that we are strengthened by? Who are we serving? In other words, what are we strengthened by? Okay. And it's important to know who you're serving. And looking at that in terms of Martin Luther King, I shared Martin Luther King's last sermon, and we will end with a little bit of that.
War will put an end to mankind. And the best way to start is to put an end to the war in Vietnam, because if it continues, we will inevitably come to the point of confronting China, which could lead the whole world to nuclear annihilation. It is no longer the choice, my friends, between violence and nonviolence. It is either nonviolence or non-existence. And
okay, so go play those violent video games on Martin Luther King Jr. Day, if that's what you want to do. You know what I'm talking about? Because guess what? Righteousness, the same God that you all talk about, that you call on in Jesus' name, don't like violence. Don't like violence. Righteousness is against violence. It's contrary to all that is merciful.
the alternative to disarmament, the alternative to a greater suspension of nuclear tests, the alternative to strengthening the United Nations and thereby disarming the whole world, may well be a civilization plunged into the abyss of annihilation, and our earthly habitat will be transformed into an inferno that even the mind of Dante could not imagine. This is why I felt the need of raising my voice against that war and working wherever I can will rouse the conscience of our nation on it. I remember so well when I first took a stand against the war in Vietnam, the critics.
And they said the war in Vietnam, it's just a war. It's just a video game. It's just a game. Okay. Boop.
Took me on, and they had their say in the most negative and sometimes most vicious way. One day a newsman came to me and said, Dr. King, don't you think you're going to have to stop now opposing the war and move more in line with
Same
the
to you,
administration's
Connie.
policy? Because I understand it has hurt the budget of your organization, and people who once respect you have lost respect. People who once respected you have lost respect for you. Don't you feel that you really got to change your position? I looked at him and I had to say, sir, I'm sorry, you don't know me. I'm not a consensus leader. I do not determine what is right and wrong by looking at the budget of the Southern Christian Leadership Conference, or by taking a sort of Gallup poll of the majority opinion. Ultimately, a genuine leader is not a searcher for consensus, but a mold of consensus. On some positions, cowardice asks the question, is expedient? And then expediency comes along and asks the question, is it politic? Vanity asks the question, is it popular? And conscience asks the question, is it right? And there comes a time when one must take a position that is neither safe, nor politic, nor popular. But he must do it because conscience tells him it is right.
Right. Tells him it is right. What is it? Right. Righteousness has been, oh my goodness. We got to put righteousness before ourselves. Put it before ourselves. So that we can put aside our feelings and do the right thing with our conscience. Some people don't have a conscience, so they're going about their lives without accountability.
And I believe today that is a need for all people of goodwill to come with a massive act of conscience and say, in the words of the old Negro spiritual, we ain't gonna study war no more. This is the challenge facing modern man. Let me close by saying that we have difficult days ahead in the struggle for justice and peace. But I will not yield to a politic of despair. I'm going to maintain hope.
Yes.
As we come to Washington in this campaign, the cards are stacked against us. This time we will really confront a Goliath. And God grants that we will be that David of truth set out against the Goliath of injustice.
Goliath of injustice.
Neglect, the Goliath of refusing to deal with the problems. And go on with a determination to make America the truly great America that it is called to be.
Ooh.
I say to you that our goal is freedom. And I believe we're going to get there. Because however much she strays away from it, the goal of America is freedom. Abused and scorned though we may be as a people, our destiny is tied up in the destiny of America. Before the Pilgrim Fathers landed at Plymouth, we were here. Before Jefferson etched across the pages of history the majestic words of the Declaration of Independence, we were here.
Yes.
Before the beautiful words of the Star-Spangled Banner were written, we were here. For more than 2 centuries, our forebears labored here without wages. They made cotton king. They built the homes of their masters in the midst of the most humiliating and oppressive conditions.
Yep.
And yet out of a bottomless vitality, they continue to grow and develop, if the inexpressible cruelties of slavery couldn't stop us, the opposition that we now face will surely fail. We're going to win our freedom because both the sacred heritage of our nation and the eternal will of the Almighty God are embodied in our echoing demand. And so however dark it is, however deep the angry feelings are and the violent explosions are, I can still sing, we shall overcome. We shall overcome because the arc of the moral universe is long, but it bends toward justice. We shall overcome because Carlyle is right. No lie can live forever.
No lie can live forever.
We shall overcome because William Cullen Bryant is right. Truth crushed earth will rise again. We shall overcome because James Russell Lowell is right, as we were singing earlier today. Truth forever on the scaffold, wrong forever on the throne. Yet that scaffold sways the future, and behind the dim unknown standeth God within the shadow.
Yes.
Keeping watch above his own. With this faith, we will be able to hew out of the mountain of despair the stone of hope.
Righteousness
With this
watches.
faith, we will be able to transform the jangling discords of our nation into a beautiful symphony of brotherhood. Thank God for John, who centuries ago out on a lonely, obscure island called Patmos caught vision of the New Jerusalem descending out of heaven from God, and who heard a voice saying, "Behold, I make all things new." Former things are passed away. God grant that we will be participants in this newness and this magnificent development. If we will but do it, we will bring about a new day of justice and brotherhood and peace. That day the morning stars will sing together, and the sons of God will shout for joy. God bless you.
And that is our psalm today. Have a beautiful rest of your day, everyone. Enjoy this time off. Reflect on how you are bringing tranquility to yourself and to others around you. Have a good day, everyone. Remember, stand in love. Don't fall in it. Take good care. Take good care. I'm gonna give me some time. I'm gonna call you. Take good care, everybody. See you next time. Take good care. Love you all.